More than 2,400 truckloads of United Nations supplies have entered Gaza in the 3 days since the Israel-Hamas ceasefire agreement came into effect. The United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs said 897 aid trucks entered the Gaza Strip on Tuesday. The truce deal requires at least 600 truckloads of aid to be allowed into Gaza every day of the initial 6-week ceasefire, including 50 carrying fuel. Half of those trucks are supposed to go to Gaza's north, where experts have warned famine is imminent. The Israeli occupation forces have continued their aggression on the city of Jenin and its camp for the second day in a row. Palestine Red Crescent reported that 4 Palestinians were injured by Israeli forces' live ammunition during their ongoing onslaught on the city of Jenin and its refugee camp. Palestinian media reported that the Israeli occupation forces forced a number of local citizens and neighborhoods inside Jenin camp to evacuate their homes to Wadi Burqin. The occupation opened one passage and forced residents to take it. Israeli occupation forces have detained at least 25 Palestinians from the West Bank since yesterday evening. Additionally, Israeli forces briefly detained nearly 30 Palestinian workers who were constructing a road in the Khirbet al-Dir area. Palestinian media reported that the Israeli occupation forces have continued to tighten the military measures at most of the entrances and exits of the governorates in the West Bank, and for the 3rd day in a row. They closed the entrances to the villages of Nabi Ilyas and Kafr al-Laqif with an iron gate and prevented civilians from moving. "898 Israeli checkpoints and iron gates have been installed by the occupation army in the West Bank. Out of the 898 military barriers and iron gates, 18 iron gates were installed by the occupation since the beginning of 2025. For the 3rd consecutive day, the occupation forces tightened the military measures at most of the entrances and exits of the governorates in the West Bank. Israeli occupation forces have fired bullets at the beach of Gaza City on Salah ad-Din axis in the south of the Strip, violating the ceasefire agreement. Palestinian media reported that the occupation naval boats fired 3 shells off the beach of Gaza City, and that the Israeli army also fired in the vicinity of Al-Firdaus area on the Salah ad-Din axis, south of the Palestinian city of Rafah. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has warned against Israel's potential annexation of the West Bank. Speaking at the World Economic Forum's annual meeting in Switzerland, Guterres stated that there is no guarantee that the ceasefire agreement will hold, and underscored the importance of achieving a permanent ceasefire in Gaza and a 2-state solution. The UN Special Rapporteur on the situation of human rights in the Palestinian territories, Francesca Albanese, has warned of the possibility of Israel committing genocide in the West Bank, similar to the one it committed in the Gaza Strip. In a post on X, Albanese condemned Israeli aggression in Jenin, warning that genocide against Palestinians won't stop unless Israel is forced to act. The ongoing attacks have killed 10, including a child, and left over 40 injured. The Palestinian Ministry of Foreign Affairs has condemned the ongoing Israeli aggression on Jenin and its refugee camp, including the forced displacement of families, collective punishment, and destruction of infrastructure. In a statement, the ministry stressed that this aggression is part of a deliberate Israeli strategy aimed at consolidating the occupation, imposing Israeli sovereignty, and advancing the gradual annexation of the West Bank, including Jerusalem. It denounced these measures as a clear manifestation of Israel's colonial expansionist agenda. The ministry also called on the United Nations Security Council to assume its legal and moral obligations in addressing the suffering of the Palestinian people.